Hi, welcome to an episode of Simply Sauce. Today we are going to bake, and you know that's not my strong suit. So that's why I've invited my cousin Michelle to come and join me to teach me some of her baking tricks because she's really good at it.
I am going to bake an apple pie today. One of Grandma May's, our grandma, taught me how to make it when I was wee, standing on the chair right at the counter and helping her, kind of making a huge mess.
Yeah.
It's a simple pie recipe.
Okay.
So it's 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of flour, all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt. And especially it's okay to use salt because you're using unsalted butter.
Yes.
So that's key. If you have to use salted butter, I would decrease the amount of salt you use.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then 2/3 cup of shortening. So I like butter and corn. Who doesn't? I just do that one on a kid. So do my nieces. They just do like that. But I just cube it up a little so it's a little bit easier to mix in with your flour, because I'm just going to do this by hand. You can use a pastry blender, you can use a food processor. The key is not to over handle it because then it gets tough. The pastry gets tough. It's not as flaky.
So you want the butter to be a little bit cold?
No, really cold. No, it should be right from the
You don't want to be, all right. You don't want to like let it sit out and get all mushy.
Right there. And I'm just going to start kind of mushing it, basically pushing the flour and the butter together. So it's it's like pea size. They're very small little tidbits in there. And I don't, like I said, don't want to overwork it. Don't want it to be tough pastry. And then I'm just going to add 6 to 8 tablespoons. I just have this. I'm going to measure because I put some ice cubes in there to keep it really nice and cold.
Nice.
So I'll just do like 3 to start. And it's just going to start to congeal, just to come together. Well, I'll do 4.
Because, you have to measure and everything has to be precise. That's what I always heard.
Yep.
So cooking, especially Italian cooking, I just like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Like, does it taste good? Yeah, it does.
I use a little bit more of this. Yeah. And then it's magic. It's like good. So that's why I think I strayed away from baking, but I really want to know more about baking.
And I think there is some inherent flexibility. It's just that, like, if you want it to rise or be a certain way, like have a certain texture, you can't overwork it. You have to you could add shortening instead of butter. It'll give it even more air. Those other things you can do. And you can see it's starting to come together.
Yeah.
Like when I do that.
Yeah.
When I push it together. Again, don't want to overwork, but until it starts to come together.
Thing with baking too. I mean, cooking takes a while, but baking, you just have to be patient.
So what that butter does, because that's why it's kind of chunky still, right? The butter, it's going to create pockets, and then when it gets hot, right, it's going to melt and create an air pocket, and that's what gives it like the flakiness. So I'm just going to turn this out on this little pie thing that you've so graciously.
A little pastry mat.
A pastry mat, and then we're going to just kind of put it together so you can see how it's holding together. It doesn't have to hold together perfectly because I am going to put it in the refrigerator, right, for 30 minutes while we peel our apples.
Okay.
I make kind of a deconstructed pie where that you can make it with a really nice edge, and I'll show you like what you would do for those steps. But I like to just like roll it out and fold it over. It almost looks like it's a funky kind of way to do it. But I love crust, so you get every measure too. Yeah. So,
I mean, there's some people will just eat out the pie filling, whatever, and I'm thinking, why are you wasting that crust? They don't want the crust. I want the crust. I'm like, I'll take the crust.
Right. And so you can see it's starting to hold together. So you just make it like that. And you can see the big chunks of butter.
Right.
Those are the ones when it melts, it'll be an air pocket there, right?
Yeah.
When it melts. So that'll be nice and flaky. I'm just going to wrap it really securely so it doesn't get air. Then we'll put that in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, and then we'll start peeling our apples. So we have Granny Smith apples. I like those because they're a little tart. Like me. A little tarty. A wee bit tarty. You can use however many you have. Like sometimes if I don't have enough, I'll add some blueberries, or like this could be a peach blueberry cone.
Yeah.
And this is just there's all kinds of things.
So you can kind of get creative.
And another thing too, sometimes when my apples are going bad, I will do the peel and just vacuum seal them and put them in the freezer for the next apple pie, and then that part's done, which is really nice. Okay, so we're starting with our Granny Smith apples. We have a core, and we have a bowl full of ice water, because I find if we dunk those, it does two things. It rinses the apples from all the peels and the seeds, and it also keeps them from going brown until you're ready to use them.
Nice. Okay.
So, do you want to just start peeling?
Yeah.
But trying to do this peel, like, look how good that peel is, and it's really thin.
There you go. There's some juicy apples.
Yep.
Now, so I'm watching. Never have any piece of skin. Is that like a big?
No. Because we're cooking it the pie for an hour, so it shouldn't be an issue. Just do a little V. Say hello, 5 and a V, right, and then that's out.
Yeah.
And then if you can get rid of that, but then you're just gonna do slices.
Oh,
What you have left into the ice water. And don't be afraid if you get like little pieces of the core in that. That's what the ice water bath is for, to kind of rinse and keep it from going around. So if you want to keep doing these dries, and I will keep doing this.
I was always so curious. Like, I learned how to flip omelets by watching the guy, flip omelets at one of the restaurants where I worked, and we had a brunch, So I learned, and then I would do things myself. And, the whole thing, like with the sauce, how that came about, it was because, I just couldn't find one that I liked, blah, blah, blah. I mean, a lot of people know my story, but, I just couldn't.
So you weren't afraid, though, to experiment. Like, you saw that, the omelet and the flipping and all that happening, but you're never afraid to, that's why I'm going to add cheese to mine. I'm going to add spinach to mine. Like,
and I think that's maybe why I was afraid to bake, because I didn't think I could be as creative, innovative.
Yeah.
Because I might totally screw it up for baking, cookies, what I have done. Definitely, if it calls for shortening, I use butter.
Butter, yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm just going to put this paper towel. So it's a wet paper towel on top of the apples, and then I'll just lift it and put them in there as we go so they don't turn brown.
Ah, yes, because it's the oxygen.
Yeah.
And they're oxidated. Yep. That's what turns them brown.
Exactly.
And then if you were to squeeze lemon on it, that would then change the flavor of the apple pie, so we don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if it would change it that much. I mean, I definitely think there's room for that.
It would go along with the tartness of the apple.
A little salty. If you're feeling a little salty.
I love when you go into your dinner. You gotta have fun, You do. Gotta have fun cooking. Have you down again, another time. She goes down to visit, her folks and in St. Louis. So one of the next trips, we'll have to get you on here and do the pizza dough. And we love to make pizza, and over the little plugs for my sauce, it makes a great pizza sauce.
Yeah,
we love
for sure
to make pizza. And now that we can do the crust, it's just so much fun. And we can make all kinds of pasta. We did raviolis, and so, it's worth it. And especially if you're wanting to cook with other people, it makes it fun. Because when we did that, I mean, it was just like a big party.
Right, so this bowl is full with ice water, and then I've just laid this on here so they don't quite get brown. Right, I'm going to put a little more water in them so they're covered.
And then we'll put all of these peels in our little compost bucket. For those of you that compost, then maybe you can, because this is so simple. We have a compost out back. Now, let me tell you, it makes some great soil. We have our own gardens, so it's all just kind of all goes together. Yeah, the things start with one.
I'm just going to drain in the sink. I'm just going to drain the apples and pick out the ice cubes because we don't want our filling to be watery.
Right.
I've got 2 cups of brown sugar.
Okay.
This is just guessing because it's all by look, right? I'm going to add a little bit of flour, half of a cup. And this is just so it kind of gets congealed in there and not running, right? Okay. And then could you open that and just sprinkle a little bit on there?
Oh, so
I do everything with my hand.
So it's all colors of what? So you like sprinkle it in?
Yeah.
More?
Yeah, that's good. Well, no, a little more. Sorry, that's good. No, that's actually perfect because I think I'm going to need more. See, and so we're covering it with brown sugar, flour, the apples, so they shouldn't get brown now either. So you're saving them. They're going to cook anyway, but
sure.
I don't know. Brown apples don't seem that appetizing to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So it should, the whole mixture should look a lot like this. Right?
This is so good.
Yeah.
It smells really good.
It smells really good.
Oh, wait till we bake this thing. It's gonna, the house is
light up.
Wonderful.
I just pinched off 2 equal parts of the dough. So that was my first one. Here's my second one. and it was in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to get nice and cool. Take my rolling pin. You don't need a lot of flour, and especially because you have this nice mat too. But it feels like it goes better, when you have some flour. Which it's breaking apart in the same place, though. Doggone it. Okay, so I just flip it continually when I get a little. You're just gonna out to the edges from the center, out to the edges from the center, out to the edges. But you want it a bit too thin. You can always go like this and look, oh, I need a little more, right? You can see how much it's going to cover and how evenly.
So do you put anything on the pan?
No, because this is full of butter.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. That's why I asked, because I'm always like, oh, we've got to make sure we spray something at the bottom so it doesn't stick, But then I was thinking, there's quite a bit of butter in there, so probably would be fine.
Yeah. I like it like a deconstructed edge. I know that some people, I've seen it, and I couldn't tell you where I saw it, but I kind of like it because I love crust, right? Yeah. I'm just sitting my crust in there.
My favorite part of crust.
Me too. So I'm going to put it in there, kind of tamp lightly, because you don't want to rip the dough, right? Just kind of tamp it down to the edge. But we're going to just add apples and then just flip that over on top. I'm not going to cut it or anything, but maybe this one's a little smaller.
Okay.
Well, I should have done that first, because then I could have added it to there. Oh, well, live and learn.
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to get a little knife here.
That's what we do, right?
And so here's the edge. I don't know if you can see. Here's the edge of the pie. It's just barely over. So I'm just going to take it and cut the excess off the top of here, right? Like this could use a little more. Maybe I'll just wedgie this on here. Spackle. It's like spackling.
Cut and paste. It's like, getting the posture out and through the walls. How funny.
So this will be like the more traditional, right?
Okay.
And then we can just lay this on here.
Yeah, I saw that kind of split. So perfect.
Right. And that won't look terrible once it's baked. Like, we were saying before, it was going to turn out a piece of apple pie.
Exactly. I mean, running a bakery would be more about the aesthetics, because I always talk about that on the show, is aesthetically pleasing to that. But I think, deconstructed and whatever, the apple pie is going to look amazing.
Right. And it really does deconstruct it. It kind of is fun because it bubbles through and it's brown on it.
I want to see the end result on that.
So this, I'll just go in and I fold it under. So I just fold it under on the edge there. Get air. Where am I? Okay. And then you just go with this. You crimp it like that with your finger. You're like this.
So if you wanted to, you could make a big pie and put crust over the top as well.
Right, for sure. And there's all kinds of things. You can do lattice, but you always want to, don't forget, if you do that and you just do a hole, if you did the whole thing over the top, you put some slits in it to give it some air when it starts to, when they start to bubble up.
Right. Gotcha.
So you're just you want a heaping mound of apple filling in the middle.
Yum.
And you can reserve, if you have too much juice, you don't have to add it all, right? It depends, because you don't want it to be weepy at the bottom.
Right.
Nobody wants a soggy bottom.
Right. No soggy bottom.
No soggy bottoms. Mary Berry would be crushed. Okay, so there's that one.
Yum.
This one.
Yum.
Yeah, so this is like two pies. And these, I don't recall. We could probably put it in the notes or something for your site, how big these pie tins were.
Okay.
They're probably 8-inch. I look like they were probably grandma's.
I know. So, they're old and very seasoned pie pans.
Nice. Yeah. So I just did a little, so they kind of settle a little bit. So for the deconstructed one, I'm just going to go and fold it over. So I'm just going to make a little topping, which you can make. We can do it on both of these or just one of these. We can just do it on that one if you want. It's like a crumble topping, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I have no idea how much stuff. So I just put some oats and cooking like now, and some brown sugar, and then some butters. Just cut it up
like you did before with the flour.
Yeah. But now this has been out a little bit, so it's a little more melty schmelty, which is good.
Yeah.
Because we want to pinch it together. So it's almost like granola on top. So it's kind of got that buttery, sugary crunch.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a little bit different. And you can add cranberries. You could add walnuts. You could add pecans. You could add.
And this is where you can get creative and kind of do your own thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You can make grandma's pie your own by, making a variation.
But grandma wouldn't have tolerated this action, I don't think. And then she would have cut that pie bread, and with those, she would have made another pie. She would have just stretched it. She had so many mouths to feed, right?
Right.
Me, I just like how it kind of looks deconstructed a little bit. Okay. So again, your hands are your best friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just squishing this together, getting the sugar and the oats. This actually worked out really well. I eyeballed it. And some butter. You can add cinnamon, but there's already cinnamon in the filling. So it depends on how much you want. Or, if you like cardamom, add cardamom, like something else.
Yeah.
Or if you want it a little citrusy, like you were saying, douse you can not only douse your apples in lemon, but also put it in this too. So this should be a little like pieces, right? Like a little bit chunkier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take this guy. We're going to leave that guy. And then we're going to just add this onto the top. You're just going to sprinkle it on your top.
Oh, that's great.
We've turned on the oven to 350.
Yep.
Put this one. There we go.
Perfect. That's
perfect.
All right.
What you're looking for is the nice brown crust. If it gets too brown, you can cover it with a little foil, so that it stops. But you want to see bubbles. Exactly what we're looking for. We're done then.
Gonna bake 60 minutes.
Yep.
So should you check on them at like 30 or 40 or 50?
40 and 50 probably to see how they're doing. Just so you don't burn your crust.
I had a lot of fun today. I really appreciate you coming. And just keep following us on YouTube. You know all my handles, Chef Mel STL. You know the website, www.chefmelsauces.com. Thanks, you guys.
Enjoy your meal.